Hello. So we are live. I know that this is a little late. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to do a live stream because remember I talked about the Facebook patterns in a couple of my other regular videos, and I was waiting on them. They finally arrived like yesterday afternoon at around 4 o'clock. Okay, now this is not going to be a real live unboxing. I'm going to be straight with you guys because, sorry, I'm trying to adjust this for a good shot. When they got here yesterday, it had been raining in New Jersey, like kind of like misty, and the box was wet. So I had to quick get the patterns out of it. So I don't like to handle the patterns too much. So what I did was I just basically like did my checking in of the patterns yesterday, but I'm going to show them to you guys. So these are the patterns that I bought from the woman off Facebook. I bought them the day after Thanksgiving and I got them yesterday. That's how long it took UPS to get them to me. I spoke with her and she had mailed them on the 27th. And I was like, and I can see that the label was created on the 27th. So I don't know why it took UPS so long, but whatever, right? So I paid $53 with the shipping. It came to about 95 patterns. 93 of these patterns are uncut and factory folded. So you know how happy I am about that, right? Sorry, there is like, I am going to stand up for 1 minute because there is one little beam of light that is hitting my glasses and I'm going to go close the shade. So I will be right back. Please stay tuned. Sorry about this. And it's literally, it was bouncing off my neighbor's car. It's still bouncing off my neighbor's car. Trying to see. Okay, I'm going to have to close the shades. I wanted to do natural light. And that's not working. I should have probably checked this out before I started doing a live feed, but have you met me? I'm not exactly the whiz with YouTube. I know it's shocking, but I'm not. All right, let's see if that's better. I really wanted to do this afternoon because, because of natural light. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay, so as with all all Facebook purchases I do of patterns, there was quite a bit in this that was not patterns. And I'm still getting glare on my eyeglasses. One more time, guys. I know most of you are going to watch this later, so you can pretty much just fast forward through all this crap. All this highly unprofessional crap that I'm doing. Okay. Still not great, but I'm not getting up again. Okay. So first of all, the hair. Every video is now just going to probably feature me complaining about my hair, but yeah. I'm wearing some lovely vintage earrings. I got these about a year ago at an antiques market. I like them so much. I actually tried to give up vintage for a while. I was like, I spend money on clothes and then I never wear them. And I'm going to save myself money. I'm going to stop collecting vintage things, vintage clothes, vintage whatever. It lasted like a week. And I just bought a bunch of vintage stuff from Goodwill this week, which one thing was such a find that I'm going to do a video about it. I may or may not do it on Tuesday because I don't know if my Goodwill is going to really have that much, but we'll see. So without further ado, let's take a look at the stuff that is not patterns first. So I had, that's right, guys, look, oh boy, buttons. And it's hard to see, but these are more like a green. They look very gray. I'm looking at them. They look very gray. They're actually a really nice pale green. And then I also had a Singer sewing machine warranty, which this is in really great shape. And part of me is thinking someone would want this because I know that people really like ephemera. And then very, very 80s shoulder pads. And here's the funny thing. Now these cost $3.50 back in 1980, whatever. I bought some of these for something that I was thinking about doing that was going to be like vintage inspired. And even with like my coupon from Joann's, I bought these shoulder pads and they were still like almost $5. So apparently shoulder pads are an expensive item because these were $3.50 back in the 80s or the 90s. And, you know. Okay, so let's take a look at some of what I call the wounded birds. Now, they're not all wounded birds, so I'm going to go over like what the deal is with these patterns and why. Okay, so I got 2 of these. I kind of hate these. I already have one. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to take a picture of the other one. I'm going to put them all together and I'm going to put them up as one listing as a bundle because I think the one I have is a bedroom and this is like a dining room and a keeping room, which I don't understand. In the picture, the keeping room looks like a dining room. So yeah, whatever. These are directions to make these. These aren't patterns. They're a very weird thing. They don't really sell, so whatever. And then I have this, which I thought was a cut pattern, but because it only had this one flimsy little piece, but I'm now thinking that this is actually, that was the whole pattern. What cracks me up about this is, tell me that is not the most 80s Miami Vice. Look at this. Rose and teal, babe. Rose and teal. Very 1980s. And then this was super cute. It's a doll. And it's creepy because it's almost the size of the child. And here's the picture of the doll right on the back. No directions. So this is what I call a wounded bird. Wounded birds, when it comes to patterns for me, are patterns that are missing one piece. A piece that, like, if you knew how to sew, wouldn't be a big deal, like the neck facing, right? Or like the the band that goes over the elastic, stuff like that. Or in this case, where the pattern's complete, but it doesn't have directions. So if you looked at it and you knew how to sew, you could make it. I mean, I could make that doll. I wouldn't probably do it in the same order, but I would be able to make that doll. And the interesting thing is, let me show it to you real quick. It's still folded. It's never been cut. All the pieces are here, but no direction. So it's a wounded bird. And then there's stuff like this. This is just directions for a pair of pants. As you can see, I think they must be children's pants that this pattern's not anywhere in this box. So this was interesting. This is my size. Let me take it out of the box. This is a cut pattern that they couldn't get back in the envelope, which I get because I have this issue too. Sometimes you just can't get that pattern back in the envelope, right? Now, here's the thing. This is my size, but to me, this is the most shapeless dress I have ever seen. I mean, it literally, I look at this and I think this, like, tell me this isn't like the sackcloth dress that you are put in before they stone you to death in the town square for being an adulteress or not cooking for your husband or something. And then there was this one. This was kind of cute. It is cut. I haven't counted it yet, but if it's cut, if it's in good shape, if the directions are in here, I'll probably put this online for a couple bucks, something cheap. So without further ado, let's take a look at the patterns. I am going to start kind of backwards. We're going to start with Vogue and Simplicity and work towards Butterick. And I'm going to do that because the very first pattern I'm going to talk about is a pattern that I've decided to keep, that is by Simplicity. I've decided to keep it because it's a size 22, and I actually really love these pants. And both the skirts are super cute too. Let me tuck this tab in so you can see the line drawings. I did go out and look to see what the price was on this. This pattern sells for like $3. I mean, it's not cut. It's still factory folded, so it is a new pattern. But it was in my size, and I really liked the pants. They have a very 1940s flair, and they're very high-waisted. So I'm keeping that one. And then there were only 2 Vogues in this entire, which is rare. I get a handful of Vogues. I don't get a lot of Vogues unless like it's like a listing like that one that I did a while back that was where she said it's like all Vogues. I don't really get a lot of Vogues, but this is the first Vogue. So it's nice. Very 80s, very Dynasty. There we go. There's the back. Now, I think it's interesting that it ties, buttons and ties in the back. You can't really see that from the drawing, right? I guess you kind of can. I really like the, is it C? Yeah, C, the blue floral. And then this was, oh, that's a Butterick. Why is that in there? Uh-oh. Here we go. Sorry. Here we go. Another Vogue, definitely 90s. The majority of these patterns are actually 70s and 80s. There's a couple of 90s. They're all early 90s like this. So that was the other one. Oh, I remember this. I put this on the top because this is one of the ones that I have to actually pull this up to see what the number is because it got ripped off, but kind of cool. It's a wrap jumpsuit, which sounds so weird, but I guess I don't know. Is it open on the sides? Not really sure. Whatever. And then here's our Simplicity. This pattern, by the way, I already have. Got it at the estate sale last weekend. So kind of interesting. But, and then, you know, what haul would be complete without at least one 90s awful vest pattern? And this one apparently is unisex. And because, you know, every man wants a fringe vest, right? I mean, I know. Every guy wants a fringe. Oh, these are just awful. God, what were we thinking? And then, very luckily for me, there were only 2 children's patterns. Here's one. This is so odd to me because that little boy looks like it's quite a draft there. Here's the line drawings on the back. And this one is for serger. So this is a stretch knit only pattern. So this must be mid-80s, 80s. I remember that's when sergers and overlocking and knit patterns were getting really popular. And this one, whoops, this one is an official Walt Disney pattern. Okay, so this is also overlock and stretch knit pattern. But in this, there is, see if I can open them without them crumbling. I shouldn't be opening these. Mickey Mouse transfers. Yep. So, yeah. Or I guess they're appliques. But the weird thing is like it's Mickey Mouse, but he's like a baby. It's kind of a weird, it's like a baby Mickey Mouse, which is weird because he already kind of looks like a baby. Okay, now I have to mess with this. I should have never taken this out. Now I have to mess with this crap for like an hour, right? Okay, yeah. All right, maybe not an hour, but we'll put it back in here. So, yeah, I lucked out. Not a lot of children's patterns. You know how I feel about them. Okay, so two of these, which is kind of cool. They're go everywhere patterns. So the pattern is very thick and it's every single piece. So blouse, skirt, pants, jacket. And I have 2 of them. So these are going to go up together. They both, I priced them out, and the, you know, what other people were selling them on Etsy is exactly the same price for both of them. So they're going to go up together. This, which I got to tell you guys, I'm really sure I had this. I think I had this one in high school, and I'm fairly sure that it was like plaid with like metallic thread. Raise your hand if you had that shirt in high school. And then there's this, which I thought was kind of cool because this is everything, including the tap pants. And yeah. And this was kind of a cool dress. And the reason I say that is the dress actually zips down the back, which makes me think, like if you look at, is this B? Or it's view 2, the green view. See how fitted it looks, but it doesn't actually have any darts. So I thought that was kind of cool. You know. Oh, And then more 70s. And this is also a whole thing. Pants, skirt, tunic, whole thing. I've never heard of this designer, but there's his suit pattern for simplicity. It's actually a pretty cool suit. It's got a side pleat, which is very long. Now this was kind of really weird. This has the embroidery designs, but it's also the shirt. And then later in here, you'll see I have, it might be McCall's, it might be Simplicity. I have just the embroidery. So it's kind of cool. I really like this. It's very casual. Well, it's funny. It was casual for the 70s, and now it would be, you know, considered dressy. But, you know, let's not get into that. Men's shirt. Had a couple of men's patterns, which was interesting. Oh, love this. I swear my mom had this dress. In fact, I'm really sure she had it in this like kind of raspberry pink color. This cow neck, and I think she got it at Sears. Right? Remember that? A little more cottagecore. The nice thing about this lot of patterns that I noticed is they're like 14s, 16s, 18s, which is really nice. And that one that was that goes up to a 22. So many times when I get these pattern lots, by the way, this is also serger stretch knit. When I get these pattern lots, they're like size 6, size 8, size 10. And those are the old school sizes. So they're not even what we think of as, you know, size 6, size 8, size 10. Subtract 2 from that. So a 6 now is more like a 4, you know, which, by the way, I completely disagree with vanity sizing. There's no reason anybody's size should be a 00. I mean, come on. If a woman's a 00, I feel like someone needs to enroll her in like the Cheesecake of the Month Club, because she's not eating. You know, I dislike it. I also dislike the amount of pressure it puts on women to feel like they need to be a certain size, which is completely ridiculous. Like, why do you have to be a certain size, right? You are the size that you are. I am the poster child for big boned. Look at these. Look at my wrists. I'm the poster child for big boned. When I got cancer, they literally said that to me. They said, oh yeah, well, people that are big boned, they're tall, they have more marrow. This cancer tends to be more prevalent in them because the cancer is in the bone marrow. So there you go. Anyway, tons of new look in this. Well, not tons, about 10 patterns, but give or take. But New Look is one of those pattern companies I don't get a lot of usually. And these were super cool. All 90s. Lots of suits, which, you know, hey, awesome. This one in particular is really cool. Can you see that the back of the jacket is yoked, which is kind of cool. And hey, more underwear. We got a lot of lingerie going on in this particular haul. And men's, but kind of very Miami Vice, right? Are we getting the Miami Vice vibe from this? If you're not from that pattern, then you're going to get it from this. Yeah. Tubbs and Crockett, man. Right? And then, yeah. Okay. And talk about Miami, right? Miami. But this is just the shorts, by the way. And then this, which I thought was so nice. It is, first of all, anybody else getting the 1930 vibe off this, especially this view here with this back pleating in the back of the skirt. It's like a fishtail almost pleating. Yeah, I was like, that's cool. Very cool. Okay. I'm trying to keep these in some order since I already did go through them. And it was so nice to get a haul where the majority of the patterns were still folded, never used. It's so nice then to not have to count pieces. So I got one of these. And remember, I had gotten some more of these patterns. So I think these are all going to go up on Etsy also in a kind of like a bundle, right? If anybody's interested in them. Because they're interesting patterns, the Show Me patterns. They're probably great for someone that's learning to sew. So within this, there were a lot of the second market brands. All right, so like McCall's has Stitch and Sew, right? Or Stitch and Save. Butterick has See and Sew, and Simplicity has something like that, right? Okay. So, all right. First of all, very 80s, very, very 80s. And I didn't look up the dates on these, but I'm since I lived through the 80s, I can kind of tell you when something is 80s, 90s. This is very 90s, late 80s. This is the kind of thing I actually remember people wearing. This was like a prom dress type thing, or cocktail dress, Christmas party. These are culottes, right? So very, very, Russian peasant, this one, right? Very Russian peasant kind of look. And then this nice basic pinafore. I really like the blouse on this. The pinafore to me is a bit boring, but look at the blouse. Really nice. And then, the Nancy Reagan suit. Everybody copied this suit, the Nancy Reagan suit, which was, by the way, by Bill Blass. Okay. And then here we go again with the vests. I'm not sure why we loved the vests so much back in the 80s, early 90s, but boy, did we. They were just everything with the vest. Looking at these, I am reminded of like the really pretty clothes that my mom had when she was a school teacher. She taught Spanish for 35 years before she retired. And she had a lot of dresses like this, just like very easy care stuff. Like she loved Sears and Roebuck, and she would go to Sears and okay, by the way, another dress with a vest. Not really sure why we're doing that, but my mom would go to Sears. That was like her big place to go. And she had all these lovely dresses. They were all polyester. Yeah, we loved some polyester back then. Let me tell you. I always forget about that, like how much polyester we really loved back in the day. But yeah, we really loved polyester. And my mother was no exception. So, like I said, I did have some men's patterns. This, okay, really, wow. I don't even know where to start with this one. The turtleneck, by the way, is not included. It is the overshirt only. It's like so Tom Selleck, isn't it? Magnum PI. And then here's another one. I'm not sure how I feel about the deep V on the guy. And what is it with the porn mustaches? I don't remember anybody I know having mustaches back in the day, but they pop up all the time on these patterns, right? Again, another dress really reminded me of my mom. This is the kind of thing she would have worn. Very cute, like a little Obi dress. And famous people patterns. Diane Carroll. Isn't that amazing? Now, this must have been when she was doing the recurring character on Dynasty, because I remember that's kind of what she looked like. Okay, I have a whole ton of, there's a whole stack of these. These are like, they're sized for stretch knits, and they're like a wardrober, and they're like every piece comes in the bag. Here's another one. And in fact, this one doesn't have line drawings on the back. It just has them on the front. See, I don't know if you guys can see those. But like everything you see comes in this one envelope. Here's another one. Basically dresses with buttons, back, side, front. Here's another one for stretch knits. Whole shebang comes in one envelope. Yeah, which I get. By the 80s and 90s, women were working. The market for fast fashion had begun in full swing. So, women were not sewing the way they used to. And so the industry responded by creating all of these fast option sewing patterns. Okay, this kills me. You have no idea how much this kills me. Wait till you see the back. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a little Children of the Corn, right? Like, especially look at her. One who walks behind the rose. I really like this one, but I got to tell you, it's not my size, but I was looking at it and I was like, oh, these are great pajamas. And then I realized those aren't pajamas. That's a whole evening outfit thing. And in the back, it dips down, I guess, or I guess you can do that option. But I thought super cool pajamas, right? I thought this was pajamas too. It's also not pajamas. It is, there's no line drawing on the back. It's just what you see on the front. But it's just like, I guess, beach wear. Oh, I lied. Another kid's pattern. For boys. Kind of cute though, right? It's the shorts and the shirt. And then again with the like stretchy beachwear that could be mistaken for pajamas. Okay, so this next pattern is the first of two that there might even be three, but I think I remember two of the stop hammer time, right? It's even got the stopwatch down here. Okay, I can't remember what these are called. Okay, now some of these, I think these might be called Harem Pants, but when they have like the big drop and everything, I can't remember what they're called. I just remember that MC Hammer had them and he wore them all the time. Okay, I love this pattern. Love it. It's not my size, but I love it. It reminds me of my sister in the 70s. This was basically her aesthetic. And this includes everything, including those way bitching bell bottoms. Look, can you see them? Look how wide the bell is on those pants. And then this, I don't know what this weird action with the shirt is, but it's some kind of a shirt and a cape thingy. Yeah, you got me. I'm going to show it to you again because it's too fabulous for words, right? And I lied. This is a baby pattern, not a kid pattern. It's little kids' moccasins, and it specifically calls them moccasins, which is kind of weird. Doesn't have a line drawing on the back, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. It's called Cozy Toes. It was a thing. And there's just some really lovely, really basic shirt pattern, and it's all of those shirts with the different collars that you can make. I thought this was super cute. It includes all of it, basically, including you can make the hat. Yeah, right. So another celebrity pattern. Now, last time I got a Marlo Thomas, I put it on Etsy and it sold in like 2 days. So I got to get this baby up there. Oh, okay. This, can you guys see this? Yeah, the sun will come out tomorrow, right? But it's nothing like anything Annie wore in Annie. It's very cottagecore in its own kind of weird way. And even though it looks like a little girl's pattern, it's a Missy size 14, which is a 36 bust. So it's not really a little girl's pattern. So yeah, that was really strange. Very strange to me, but whatever. People did their thing, right? More batwing. We loved a batwing. Apparently we loved a dolman sleeve and a batwing jacket in the 80s, because here's another one. And let me see. Yeah, there's a line drawing on the back. That one's hard to see. So by the way, this is See and Sew, which is the Butterick one. I can't remember what the one is by Simplicity, but Simplicity also has one. They're like inexpensive, fast, easy patterns, I guess would be the right way to describe them. This is so super cute, isn't it? It's actually the blouse, and I'm going to see if I can get it closer so you guys can see the detail of the blouse. And then there's the line drawing. So you have some options with tying it or doing a collar. Thought it was cute. This is the most bland suit I've ever seen in my life. It is does not include the shirt, which is the only thing that makes it, slightly less boring. How I'm falling asleep looking at it right now. You would think that was boring, and here's its sister, the second most boring suit in the entire world. Even the color's boring. It's like beige peach. And this includes the little shell. Remember they used to call those shirts shell? Kind of like a t-shirt style, but they were usually a silky material. The beginning of active wear, the beginning of the Walmart tuxedo, the beginning of the end. Yeah. And it's a shame this isn't my size because I really like this shirt. It's just a rolled collar, long or short sleeve, really, really basic pattern. So now we are getting into the last of the patterns, which is Butterick. So Butterick, I would say probably more than half the patterns were Butterick. I could be wrong. There's a lot of McCalls also, but still nice patterns. So, okay. I saw this pattern. I'm like, should I address this or will I sound racist if I address this? All right. So this pattern is an Essence pattern. The model, to me, does not look African-American. She looks very white, right? Here's the back. It's a great set. But, does anybody else think that she's African-American? Because I don't think she is. And like, hello, Butterick, you do know what Essence magazine is, right? You do understand? Okay, whatever. There are so many of these. These crack me up. There's like the tie-on. There was the jumpsuit. I have a pattern that's a tie-on skirt. I should probably put all them together, right? The tie-on patterns. Oh, here we go. See? Whoop! Hammer time. And these aren't even the worst ones. There's one pattern in here. We haven't gotten to it yet. It's just so amazing. So MC Hammer. I really like this pattern. Okay, so you make it jersey knit, something like that, right? Some type of silky fabric. You can see the line drawing in the back right here. And then these are all the options of how you can wear it. And I was like, well, that's kind of awesome. And it really is a nice dress. Look at it. I particularly like this view, and I like the view of this. So, okay, this is another pattern that I really liked. Look at this. Like the Russian folkwear. She's even got the boots on. And there's no line drawing on the back, but there's the line drawing on the front. But really kind of nice. I remember when this type of look, this folky wear look in the early 80s was very popular. Okay, again, more Walmart tuxedo stuff. I'm surprised these aren't stirrup pants. Do we all remember stirrup pants? Can we have a moment of silence for everybody that wore stirrup pants? Oh, wait, maybe they are. Hold on. Oh, they are. Look, there we go. B. Look at B. B's got a stirrup. Yeah, I knew there had to be a stirrup in there somewhere. Worst possible style of pants. They make your entire leg look like a shapeless tube. I don't know what we were thinking. Okay, this is so 80s, early 90s. Oh, yeah, this is your Christmas party dress, guys. Okay, I really like this. Again, I tend to like the most basic stuff. Like this is just a basic long skirt. Just a long straight skirt, but really nice, right? Here's a suit. This suit's it's a little boring for my taste, but it's not bad. It's not bad, right? And then you have two views of the jacket, and it's a basic skirt. And here again is another suit. Interesting that she's wearing the beret because I think this is very much a nod to the 1930s. And I say that because of the length of the jacket and the length of the skirt. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. Okay. I love these illustrations also, by the way. I don't know how many people notice the illustrations, but you can kind of see who the illustrators are. Like you can see a difference in them. I thought this was cute too. This is all of these blouses. Unfortunately, not my size. It's a 14. And I think this is the old school 14. Yeah, it's 36. Okay, and more underwear. Now, I think this is straight up lingerie. I don't think this is actually supposed to be meant to be worn under other garments. God bless them. Here's more 80s, early 90s. Look at those Capri Pants. And is this size for stretch knits? It probably is. Fashion edition. It says fast and easy, but it doesn't say it's made for stretch knits or sergers, but that's kind of what it is, right? A very pretty suit with more of a flare skirt, not a straight skirt. Oh, and this wrap dress. You guys haven't seen the fabric yet, but I got this beautiful early 70s polyester jersey in the haul from the estate. And this is exactly the pattern that the dress should be made out of, because that fabric, it's not like this. It's more of a floral and it's black and yellow, but this pattern would be perfect for that fabric. Of course, not my size, so I won't be making it. Okay, these are embroidery transfers, right? Remember earlier when I had the shirt? This is just the transfers. There's no pattern for the shirt in here. And here we go. So this is for t-shirts, which is kind of interesting. I'd never think of t-shirts as something that you're really going to sew. The thing I do like about this is look at the scoop on those t-shirts. I like that. I like the scoop, and I like the baby style, which is rounded on the bottom. And here we go. Like I was saying, quick and easy, right? Fast fashion, 3 hours. Because women were starting to not sew. This is actually pretty cute when you look at it. It's just a skirt with like a side tie. Cute. This is another really cute shirt, which I also think I had. I think I had, see this yellow one? I'm pretty sure I had this in like a pink color. It's funny to look back and reminisce at this stuff. I loved this. And at first I thought that I wasn't going to be able to sell this because there were no directions inside, but I found the directions wedged in with some other directions. So worked out very well. And Family Circle. Don't know what it was with Family Circle, but they had to deal with Butterick because here's another whole wardrobe by them. More Walmart tuxedo, right? But with shoulder pads. With shoulder pads. Oh, yeah. Are they stirrup? No, they're not stirruped. And then last but not least, just a really basic pink long suit. You can see this length here. This is the early 90s. I'll never forget. That's when I first started working in an office, and all of the suits had these like crazy long jackets, which for me was great because I was tall. But if you look at old X-Files, you will see that Gillian Anderson, who's not tall, as Dana Scully, had these long jackets on, which I don't know who was dressing her because she was entirely too short to be wearing those. But anyway, so until the next video, which I can't decide what the next video is going to be because it should be my Goodwill Tuesday. Now, my Goodwill, I got all the good stuff out of it, and I showed it to you earlier this week. But I had to go down to a doctor's appointment, and I was near another Goodwill, and I found something truly amazing. And I thought, well, I'm going to put these aside because if I go to Goodwill Tuesday and they don't have anything good, I'm going to show you guys those instead because they're so cool. So I think that's what's going to happen. So until my next video, thank you so much for stopping by. I see that there are 2 people here. I'm really glad you tuned in. I hope you got to see a fair amount of my little live stream with the patterns. And until the next video, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying healthy. And Like, subscribe, comment. I love comments. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Stay warm. Stay warm. Bye.